Favorite Beastie Boys song?
Favorite Beastie Boys song? I mean, to me, it's Sabotage. It's like not even close. I did like the one. Didn't they have one with like Will Ferrell in a music video or something?
Who knows? Probably.
I think they did. I think I like that one.
Yeah. Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
This is Zach for the 6th time.
I feel like I have, in some ways, sabotaged my brother over here, but
we fresh cracked this bottle and we're halfway through it.
That's right. So, we're going to be talking today about just a lot of different things.
Maybe no, only one thing.
Maybe a little.
All right. So, I told Dave, I said I'll probably be doing most of the talking on this because I got things to say at the end of the day on this.
That's probably true.
And before I even start, go ahead and hit that like button because you might hit the dislike button later. So if you just forget, just keep the like button. That'd be great. Leave a comment below over the topic and subscribe and hit that notifications.
I mean, I didn't put much in either one of them.
No, but I'm taking mine.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about everything that's been going on, kind of with the internet and people in the sense of allocation. And I've kind of been seeing people like really getting upset with people who can go and wait in line and stuff like that. But to me, the tide really kind of shifted on everything for this Four Roses bottle here. So
this was the tipping point.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. So this is the Kentucky Strong barrel strength of release at Four Roses. It's 16.5 year. It was for the flood relief victims in Kentucky. It was a great bottle. I mean, they're all phenomenal. I haven't had one bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all higher tier. I think outside of the 19 year, that was for the tornado relief. I think this is the best one. I think it beats the 20 year, and we love the 20 year.
Yeah, I really like the 20 year. That is definitely true.
So, Four Roses, they stepped up. They released a whole bunch of barrels on a Monday, whenever they're normally closed. They raised a crap ton of money for everybody who has been affected by the flood, which you've been down there. You've seen the devastation.
Did they announce that? Like how
the
much
amount of money
raised?
for it? If they have, I haven't seen it.
I haven't heard it.
But Four Roses stepped up, and they were incredible with it. Because they said, look, we know what will raise the most money. We'll double the price of a barrel strength offering.
Yeah.
We'll allow you to buy two. And guess what? We'll sell out in 4 hours. And that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They raised all this money, and they doubled the price of everything. And it was awesome. We had a great camp out. We went and camped out at Cox's Creek. We actually formed a line. Everybody was very reasonable. We all had a great time. Nobody was acting like a hooligan or anywhere else. Overall, great experience. I have no complaints. Four Roses, you did a great job. Please keep this up, which from what I understand, I think Four Roses was very happy with the release. Contrary to some other people or channels or podcasts that act like it was a crazy show or whatever, I think actually most people who were actually at the event. Like, yeah. I was there, so yeah. I saw, there was somebody who told me, it's like, yeah, I heard there was like dozens of people out in the street. I said, no, there wasn't. No, there was not dozens of people. I don't remember one because they had a cop that was there the entire time. The cop was super cool with us, talking to us the entire time. And our buddy Brian over at Abandoned Bourbon, he was the sheriff over at Cox's Creek, and he made sure we had a line, everybody was in order.
Yeah.
One of the most hardcore Four Roses fans I know. He was going to make sure we were all going to score.
Yeah.
So super cool. After all that, of course, some of these bottles hit secondary. You know that's going to happen. It happens at all these releases. Some of these secondary groups.
Happened with the 20 year.
Sure. It happens with other charity bottles as well.
Yeah.
So then some of these secondary groups started banning either people who posted them or took their post down because they said, this is a charity bottle. You're not making money off charities. Blah, 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 blah. Which, let me say this. I'm going to just throw this out here. I mean, you are a secondary group, which, is technically bad, so, and now you're having moral judgment. It's just funny, fine, I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care. But this was the bottle that drew the line, which I found interesting, because, Parker's has their charity. There's a ton of other single barrel charities that
there
have
are.
either been done. Like I've seen a bunch of Weller Full Proofs, or Antiques, or Blanton's, or whatever. Buffalo Trace. There's a ton of them out there, right? So, but this is what drew the line, and this drew a whole lot of division out there for it. And then I started seeing the criticism of people who were waiting in line. And I mean, we had people that wrote. I know I had people who wrote me, who were like, you're part of the problem. Like you're part of the problem because you review allocation, you do the whiskey grab and stuff like that. Which, we do the whiskey grab because you all asked for it.
It's fun.
It is fun
because. And again, like, if you all look at our whiskey grab, yes, we know Zach. He gets ridiculous bottles.
Oh, yeah. Don't act like Dave doesn't get good stuff either.
No, I do get good stuff. But the sheer amount of what he gets is fine. But 96% of what either one of us get, we're not sitting out in a line somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time, we get it because we walk into a store, we walk into our places that we frequent.
We built relationships.
Yeah, relationships and stuff like that. It's not because we are sitting at 10 p.m. to 10 a.m., although we have, and we've gotten a Blanton's for that.
I don't even want to talk about that.
The best part of that night was just sitting there and drinking some really good stuff because...
Oh, 1,000%. That was the only good part of the night.
But the truth is that's not part of the problem. That's just like we do what we do because we can.
Yeah. Well, and I think there are people out there, and I think they actually have a fair argument in the sense of like I've talked to people in Wisconsin and Iowa and some of these, and then other states that are all state-ran, liquor, to where they don't have opportunity. Like, and I get the frustration of that. Like, it sucks for them that they don't have the opportunity to be able to go wait in line somewhere. Like, it's all like, either state lottery or, these certain stores, and these certain stores get busted and make the news, it's all that kind of stuff, right? But then there's also, like, yes, where we live,
we're fortunate.
We have that advantage.
Yeah, we are fortunate.
We have the opportunity to try, and we definitely don't get everything.
No.
But we have a lot more opportunity, and that's fair. I imagine the people who are by Valentine, by Bowman, by, I don't know. Smoke Wagon, Sagamore, like these distillery releases that we'll never see.
Yeah.
Or even in their state where they might get more
we don't get
stuff.
those.
We don't get a lot of that
But
stuff.
More power to you, to the guys that do get it.
1,000%. I'm not going to hate somebody who has an opportunity to go to Valentine to get one of these super rare, 15-year blue labels. Oh, Carolina. But I don't understand why there's so much hate. And I get people are frustrated about flippers. I'm going to tell you guys something. Newsflash. Not all the flippers live in Kentucky. There are people that come in every weekend or every big week from out of state. I won't say where they come from because we all know if you're a local, you know where they're from.
Yeah.
But they come up here and they hunt, and they cause problems for us as locals.
Yeah.
They cause problems at either distilleries or liquor stores, and for whatever reason, they won't ban them. And it's frustrating to us as locals. And with me saying that, I'm not saying that we don't have people that cause problems, because obviously we do. With that being said, I know I've said a lot of negative. I am not against there being any kind of like lottery system.
No,
right?
no.
And like I noticed, like, Bourbon Junkies, whenever they talked about this, they talked about where like Old Forester is going strictly to like lotteries. They do lotteries, but then they also do distillery releases there, which is helpful.
They do tour releases. They do distillery releases,
which I think is fair, and I think that's great.
And they still put stuff in the stores. Like they put allocated stuff in the stores.
I'm going to say this though. I think the best distillery that does anything like this though, it's not even close. It's Four Roses.
Yeah,
Four Roses will do events, so you have to sign up for an event. Like I think their last Father's Day event that they had. I think they did like a cigars and bourbon where you got a limited barrel strength. You got to do this super awesome event, and then they'll do mellow moments for their club. They'll do the lottery for everybody.
Yeah,
and then they'll do like this kind of stuff to where kind of it's more for locals. But Four Roses, this is something else that people don't realize. Four Roses made this announcement, right? We had friends from Michigan that came down. We had friends from Alabama that came up.
Yep.
I met people from Minnesota. This is only at Cox's Creek. We had people that came from all around the country that came there to grab bottles. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's good for the state of Kentucky. That's good for, to be able to go on to the Bourbon Trail and everything else. And they all scored.
Yeah.
Every single one of those guys scored. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
Yeah.
And I just think I do agree there needs to be a balance. I see a lot of this where it's like the locals are the problem. And I hate seeing that because I don't think that's fair whatsoever. And I think there's a lot of people who say that, who just say, well, I see this online. Well, you're not there.
Yeah.
Like, the good thing about us is, and I'll just be honest with you, we're in the trenches in the sense of, like, where we'll go wait in line, where we'll go to distilleries and look for bottles, or liquor stores. Locally in Kentucky, I can't tell you how it is in Ohio.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how it is in Florida, Texas, wherever. It can be great. It can be terrible. I can tell you a good chunk of how it is here.
Yes.
And I think some of that's a bad rep. And I think also, with me saying that, I think we as locals get a bad rep whenever an out-of-towner does something because they just assume it's a local.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, when we look at this stuff, like, you got into bourbon either because somebody, like, you had a buddy into bourbon, told you need to get into it because it's really good and you should drink more than Jack Daniels. Which
Wild Turkey was mine.
Yeah, which is totally true. Whatever it is, or in the last few years, you didn't have anything else to do because we were at home during COVID, and one of the few things that was still happening was releases, and
you can shut down pretty much everything. Can't shut down a liquor store. That's essential.
And so, like, all of this stuff, and so you got into it because you enjoyed it. You enjoyed the hunt of it. You enjoyed the thrill of getting whatever you get. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get it or where you get it from. At the end of the day, like, how you spend your time and what you want to do in pursuing bourbon or whatever it is you want to pursue. But we're talking about bourbon here. So whatever you want to do with that, like, just do it. Don't begrudge anybody what they do because it really doesn't matter. Like, what I do shouldn't affect what you do and how you feel about it. So
1,000%. And like I said, I understand it's not for it's harder on a lot of people depending on where you're at, and I understand that. And I can't tell you how many people have reached out to us about whenever they're coming to Kentucky, where to go. We try to direct them best we can. We can't guarantee anything, but we try to help out and give pointers and stuff like that.
And we try not to hold anything back. Like, if people ask, hey, I'm coming in town, we'll go, listen, stay in touch with us because we'll let you know closer to time. But, like, if something seems like it's going to be dropping, what we've heard with our ears to the ground, all that stuff. So, at the end of the day, man, enjoy your bourbon, enjoy your pursuit of the bourbon. And when you get something good, man, hold it high in the air and be proud of it.
It's awesome.
And crack it open and drink the sucker.
Yeah. Or share it at a special time.
Share it at a special
time.
Whatever it is.
Like, this is an incredibly special bottle that I am so happy I cracked open, but I'm going to be so sad when it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so sad.
And hopefully we'll have to redo this video 2 or 3 more times.
Oh my God, if we have to do this video 3 more times, get us out of here. I'm already upset about it.
All right. Well, until the next time, we'll see you.
See you.